Candy Podcast.
Oh, hello.
Episode 906. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome. How is Louise?
I'm doing great. I'm happy.
That's nice.
Things are wonderful.
Are you sad that PAL's ending?
Yeah, a little bit. But I am happy that I did not go with the Vail, because I'm not supporting those Vail resorts anymore. So I switched over to the Icon Pass. Mm-hmm. And they give you early access. Like I bought my pass already for next season.
Yeah.
But they give you access to the mountain as soon as you buy it. So I'm going to get to go snowboarding on some new mountains just for the very tail end of the season.
Oh, okay.
And it's the same pass my brother has. Ends the last, I think, April 27th.
It's creeping up.
Yeah, it's the last day. But they have a big, fun, like, weekend closing events where they do this thing called a pond skim, where they put out this big, it's like a big pool of water, and people, like, come down the hill, and then they do a trick and try to get over the pond of water. And like skim across it on skis or snowboards. And it's so fun to watch. And everybody does it in costume. And it's
like
great.
Fonzie?
It's a good time. Yeah.
When he jumped the shark?
Totally. It's like that.
Oh my God.
And it's fun. It's fun to go.
Okay. Well, you wouldn't even know it was the end of PAL season around here, though. This morning there was a dusting of snow.
Yeah, it's still snowing. I'm seeing on people's Instagram snow coming down everywhere. Sarah's iPad, I was looking at her Instagram and snowing.
Oh my God. In Canada, yeah.
Yeah.
God, it's a nightmare. All right. We'll get through it.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I had a story to tell you, but
Oh, I love stories. Update me in your life.
yeah, right. What's going
Tell
on?
the people.
Can't remember, but we can just dive in. I'm sure it'll come to me.
Yeah.
Link's doing great. We did make a deal about a month ago. Did I tell you the deal?
No.
Like if he didn't get another detention the whole year.
This is very good. Okay, let's hear it.
If he didn't get a detention at all from, let's see, so this is the end of March through June, he would get another cat.
Okay. This is a good one.
Now, keep in mind, number one, that's how we got our first cat. This is a fool me twice situation. And also that I don't think he went 1 week for the entirety of the year from September or August through March without getting a detention.
So you're like, in your mind, this isn't going to happen.
Right.
No problem.
And one time he got 21 in 1 week. There was like a real bad week.
That's a record.
Yeah, they had to like make it just be lunches because there was just too many. So it's been a month. And it looks like we're going to have 3 cats around here.
Good job,
Makes me
Link.
sick,
Okay.
though.
He's going to need motivation in that way.
I know.
Huh.
It's so gross. Like when he has a goal.
Right.
That
he can do it.
overcomes like the urge, the impulsivity.
Yeah.
I mean, I like cats and everything, but like none of the windows in my house open. We are going to have a smell that is very cat-like, I'm sure. As if it's not already.
You don't think your cats could go outside and then come back?
It's not the poo or anything. It's just cat.
Well, yeah, no, I know that, but I mean, like, why not make them outdoor?
Well, then they kill
halvesies.
birds. It's like a whole ecosystem problem.
Oh,
That's what they say. Like you're supposed to not let them out.
Oh, they do say that cats are responsible for murdering so many birds.
Because we can't declaw the cats anymore.
I have heard this. You know, my mom lives in Costa Rica, and it's the opposite kind of thing there, where her cat is like indoors during the day or hangs out during the day, and then at night, my mom lets that cat out, and that's when that cat becomes alive, and its job is to protect the house from scorpions. So that cat kills all the scorpions and all the big bugs.
Scorpions don't kill cats?
I don't know. I mean, the cat's good at attacking the scorpions.
Okay.
It seems to stay alive, you know.
Yeah. I mean, believe me, I've thought about this, but regardless, I think even if you let them out, I swear that you still smell like cat.
Yeah, it's the litter boxes.
It's
But you got that great one. It did not,
know.
just so you know, it did not smell at all. I couldn't even tell you had cat. And didn't I say that to you? I said,
Yeah.
I would never even know you had cats, and there's no cat hair on anything.
Thanks, Sarah.
So you're
Well,
fine.
we'll
One
see
more will be no problem.
Let's see. We'll find out if this kid continues his reign of terror in this house.
Okay.
Okay.
He's doing good, though.
So the way that we record this show is that we record 2 episodes a week. We record them on the same day. Sarah goes first, and then I go. And this was a week where I'm like, Sarah is definitely going to talk about something I really want to talk about. And I'm just going to have to accept that. She's got priority. I was talking to Adam. I'm like, I really wanted it to be my topic, and I know she's going to steal it. Okay, I can't believe you didn't.
And I didn't.
I don't
What
know how that's
on earth
possible.
could we
I
be
think
talking
it's because
about?
of your love on the spectrum obsession right now.
Yeah.
You missed something that is essential viewing for you.
What?
Like, I almost feel sad because
I'm dying. This is so exciting. This is like Christmas. I don't have any more sessions until later today, so I'm going to have like a 3-hour break.
oh my God, you're in
What
for
am
a
I
real
watching?
treat.
What am I watching?
Okay, you're going to be watching on Netflix the documentary called Gold and Greed, The Hunt for Fenn's Treasure, about that fucking treasure hunt all through the
Get
Rockies.
out of town. That keeps coming up. It's got a bad logo.
It does.
I thought it was like Gold Rush Alaska style, like one of
Totally.
those National Geographic. Like
I wasn't going to watch it.
I wasn't okay. It is number one in the thing that Netflix
know.
wants me to watch the most.
They're like, hello.
Like Susie's like Susie and Netflix.
Who could? I wasn't going to watch it either for the same reason. I'm like, that's not for me.
Yeah,
That's for people that like
bad PR kind of. Yeah.
Uh-huh. But it is for us.
Okay.
It's one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. I'm telling you. Sarah, do you feel like we should wait until we've both seen it? Because I'm almost due. It's that great.
Whoa.
I can't decide.
I mean, I'm
This is
so
so
excited. I don't
hard.
know. I have nothing to go off of here.
Okay, wait. You remember
I do.
okay, because this is why it's so great when you've done a
Yes.
podcast for 10 years.
We have talked about so much. Okay, so
'Cause
refresh
we've
my memory.
lived
This
it.
is the guy, yes, who said,
Forrest
I'm
Fenn.
going to put out a treasure hunt for people, and I'm going to make and this is based on that poem that was written where a guy had hidden his treasure and people had thought it was real. Or is that
Well,
the same thing?
Well, that's the same thing. It's
Okay, that is
he
the same.
wrote the poem.
Okay, this is the poem.
And the
Okay.
poem is directions to this treasure that he put out when he was diagnosed with terminal cancer that then he got cured of. But like he thought he was like gonna die any minute. And so he's like, this is my last
Oh
big
no! I'd be like,
thing.
oh shit! I better go get that gold, get that treasure. I'm gonna be around for a little while longer.
Wrote the poem and was like, here, everybody have some fun. I left you guys something.
Mm-hmm.
And so then on this podcast, Sarah, at least twice,
Yeah.
has talked about this thing. And then we talked in 2020 about how somebody found the fucking treasure.
Yes.
But he didn't say who it was. And it was like kind of shady.
Oh,
So good.
inside job. Okay, I love it already.
And so we first talked about how there was this treasure and you could go find it.
Yeah.
Then the second thing I think we talked about on this show was how people were fucking dying trying to find it.
Yeah.
And it was like, why is this loser not calling off this scary
Right.
thing?
Right.
And then someone found it. And now here we are with the documentary because we have been on the air that long. And here's why. I'll just tell you why you'll love it. And then we will talk about it together after you've watched it.
Okay.
You will love it and our audience will love it because it really is about human psychology.
Okay. I already love it.
Like what would make someone want to go searching for treasure, follow this weird ass vague map that it was all they knew was in the Rockies
That's
8 states.
anywhere.
And it
Oh
was
my
it was
God.
like a riddle. It was like, go where the water goes warm. And, it wasn't like go
Right.
to this latitude or something.
Yeah.
And so what would make somebody do that? And then what would make people keep doing it despite incredible loss and deaths and suicides and
Oh my God.
like years of their life dedicated to this stupid ass thing? And what would make the man make the poem, and like what was in it for him? He was like so into it, going on TV all the time talking about the damn thing. And why I don't even want to say anymore.
Oh, I can't wait.
One thing I have to say,
Yes.
and I'll move on, is the hilarity that this like 89-year-old coot made this poem, did the treasure map, got famous off of it, and then, as we learn in the documentary, got pussy.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
He had groupies, Sarah.
Oh. Why?
Like, people were
Why?
trying to get information by banging him.
Oh, well, that I understand.
Stop it.
Oh, those women are just...
You were just like the kombucha meme. Where you were like... You had every emotion, like...
Because I thought if he were, like, using it as, like, look, ladies, I'm the treasure hunt guy, whatever. Fuck you. But if it's women who are like...
Yes, it's that.
It's basically like, on the challenge, they would call it politicking.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, they were
For real.
treasure
So you
dicking.
respect it. You respect it. It's like a way to equalize the playing field.
Women are allowed to do whatever.
You don't judge.
I don't judge.
Would you ever do that? If it were $2 million and you thought maybe, let's assume it was a woman.
If I were,
Treasure
I can't imagine wanting to go on a treasure hunt that bad. So that
You
is
wouldn't
where
want
it kind of
$2
falls
mil?
apart. I like things.
What if you thought it was where
Suze,
you were already camping?
This is why I don't like betting in Vegas. I only like things that are a sure thing. I do not like gambling. I am not a fan.
This is my favorite.
That's why I like playing Texas Hold'em if I'm going to play anything, because that feels like I'm in control. Sort of,
Right, it feels more skill.
Yeah. Or at least I tell myself that. So
No, yeah,
that's
there's
the
for
only
sure
game
skill.
I'll play that I'm ever betting money on or gambling on or anything like that in Vegas, something like that. So this feels like a big gamble. If I think, what are my odds? I'm not even entering that game to play because I don't
Wow,
have...
Sarah, this is shocking.
Yeah, no. So many other things would have to be true in order for me to be in that position, and none of those things seem very likely for me. But if all those things were true and I was in that position, yeah, I'm fucking doing it whatever I can, because I definitely made out with some people on a challenge or two to get to the end.
Right,
And that
so
wasn't
that's
even
like a
for
small
that.
scale.
You're right. And that
Okay,
was
so,
for way
yeah.
less money.
Let's say you read the poem, right? And the poem is one of these Rorschach tests where, like, you almost get convinced that you know where he means.
Yeah.
Because it's so vague. It's like astrology.
Totally. Okay,
right?
I can get that.
So let's
Yes.
say you read the poem and you think,
Even when you said where the water gets warm, I'm like, oh, I know where that is. Like, in my head, instantly, I was like, oh, okay, I can figure. I know, I can get that. Yeah, got it. No problem.
okay, so you read
Where the glacier
poem.
runoff meets, like, I could. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like, and then, not far, but too far to walk. So, like, I have to drive a little bit.
Okay.
And then, like, the next place is not for the meek. It's so vague. It could fucking be
That's a
anywhere. It could
cliff.
be
Got
my
it.
house.
Right. Yeah.
So you read the poem and you're like, you know what? That sounds like where my favorite camping spot is in the Rockies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I should just maybe go, like, look around. And you start looking around and you're like, I feel close. Because I can totally see you keep doing that.
Oh, yeah. It's that, like, a little bit more. Like, let me just check one more. And then,
So I gotta stop. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Oh,
Stop.
I'm
But
excited.
like, I'm just saying, like, if
What
you
a-
felt
what
like
a
you could
teaser.
get it, you'd bang that guy.
I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying.
what's the
That's
guy
what I'm
look
getting
like?
at.
I mean, I don't know.
He
It would have
looks
to be...
cute for a 90-year-old. Like, he's a cute old... He's a cute old man.
No, I couldn't bang an old dude for any amount of...
Really, Sarah? What about an old gal? 90-year-old lady?
I just feel like I don't think I could
It's like elder
have
abuse.
sex with somebody like for manipulative
Right.
purposes
Believe
now.
me, I think he was fine with it.
I mean, I think younger Sarah definitely could have. And if I'm going to do it with anybody, it's almost easier to do it with a man than it would be to do it with a woman.
Yeah, right.
That I'm
'cause
just faking it all the time.
That is so true.
But
And
like
it's
a
they
woman,
deserve
there'll be
it.
feelings.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll tell
yeah.
you what I feel. And that is thankful that my hair is growing thanks to Nutrafol.
Yes. Yes. I
It's a miracle.
love hearing the positive reviews from people using Nutrafol.
It is really good because I know there's this whole thing where women have this, whether it's from postpartum, like stress, any kind of hormonal stuff, or a botched bleach job like me. Mm-hmm. And then it feels hopeless. Like you're doomed to have this mop that's gross and thin. And thanks to Nutrafol, which is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people, you do not have to worry because all of those fears will be assuaged. Mm-hmm. All of that feeling of thinning or loss, shedding. Mm-hmm. Well, it's your solution. It's backed by science. This isn't snake oil.
Right.
It's for real.
And not even like that hair oil that you have to rub all over your head or something.
I can't believe there's people doing that.
I can't believe this. Just take the supplement. What are we doing here? Mm-hmm. This is an inside out
I know,
problem.
it's for real. It's like, it feels like witch doctor crap that they're doing on TikTok.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because it is.
And women have all these life stages, and it wreaks havoc on your body and your hair. And so this is a wonderful option. We all know ladies that are going to celebrate Mother's Day, and this would be a wonderful Mother's Day gift.
Oh, that's a great Mother's Day gift.
New mom or anybody who feels like that.
Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I should give some to Chelsea.
For real.
Yeah, she would like that. Okay, I'm going to do that.
This Mother's Day, consider Nutrafol the best-selling hair growth supplement, whether you're gifting to yourself or a loved one. Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off any order. Enjoy free shipping when you subscribe. Go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code BrainCandyGift. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code BrainCandyGift. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code BrainCandyGift. I bought my own Mother's Day present. I gave to Adam. I'm like, here's what I want. It's this cute ring.
Oh, nice.
And it's like got a sheep on it. It says like an eyeball and then a heart and then a sheep. I love you.
Oh, my. Oh,
Get it?
you, like a
Yeah.
you. And it's a sheep thing, which is perfect for your family.
I'm like, tell Link.
That's really cute.
Okay, moving on. You have to watch that doc. Like that is for
I
real.
absolutely
your homework.
will watch it as soon as we get off this recording.
Okay, thank you. Okay, here's what I want to know. Do you consider yourself like a lucky person? Like
Absolutely.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. And
Why
I
do you
know
say
that. Well, because I feel like I see examples of how I am lucky. And then I know that if you start believing that you are a lucky person, you will start to recognize the things that happen that are lucky. If I could easily say I'm an unlucky person.
I'll say.
And
yes.
like, because sometimes if I look at all those things,
What
it's
if we just, when we edit this promo, we put like Johnny taking the money and like you crying on this challenge or whatever. We could have
there's
that evidence.
so much. I am the challenger who's had the most partners go home for reasons that were not their own, like
Right.
disqualified partners.
Yeah.
We could say, a lot of the things with my health and,
oh my God. And
reproductive-
your family.
I have a lot of things, like big things that I've been, but the day
What
to
if you're
day,
like, you know what? Yeah, I am. I'm like,
the day to day, I'm lucky. Super lucky. Like things like
a parking
know,
spot will open up or something.
I will always get the front parking spot every single time. In fact, like I say to my girlfriend, I'm like, front row parking, just wait. Every single time, front row parking. She's like, man, you were right. I'm like, I know. It's a thing. It's a thing. So I will always get that.
Would be willing to get a hysterectomy just for that.
Just
like
for
if
the
I
parking.
could trade. Because whenever I can't find a spot, I feel like hopeless.
Like, well, I guess I'll just go home. Right. No, I always get it. I don't even worry. I'm like, parking spot right in front.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel lucky with stuff like that. Or like when my car, okay, so, I was having car trouble. Car did break down. It happened to break down right within the mileage that AAA was allowing the tow to the dealership. And because I took it to the dealer, and I had first gone to another mechanic, they towed it to another mechanic, but the other mechanic was like, I'm sorry, we're busy. So they took it to the dealership. And because they took it to the dealership said, oh yeah, this is a factory recall. You don't have to pay anything for this. And so I got my car all brand new, done, $0. Had the other mechanic been available, I would have paid for all the diagnosis, everything there. It wouldn't have been covered by the dealership. Mm-hmm. I would have had, so that was super lucky. That worked out. So many things that are like, well, that's fucking lucky all the time.
That's interesting though, because that's a matter of perspective too. Like most people would say they were lucky if their car hadn't broken down.
Right. No, it was all the things that happened. If my car's going to break down, all the things that could have, my client was able to move that day. Like it was a very easygoing client. It all works out. It all works out for me. That is what I believe. And I will always say that
true.
Into the universe.
Everything
always works out for me.
Yeah.
And I say that. I say it like all the time.
I know. It's kind of annoying.
So say it.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Everything always works out for me. It does. Things are going to work out. They always do. Everything will always work out. Everything works out for me.
It's the secret.
And you can even say that it works out sooner than I even think it's going to.
And better.
Yeah. And better. And better.
Okay.
And better. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I read this wonderful article in New York Mag about this concept, and it was so fun to read. The title was "Does Luck Exist?" Lee John Whittington, a philosopher of luck, didn't think unluckiness was a quality people had. Then he met his wife.
Oh,
that title.
It would
sucked
be
me
like
right in.
That is very funny. It would be like that the person who studies luck gets together with the most unlucky person.
Yeah, and so the structure of the article was built around this couple, and of course that funny dynamic that he studies luck and doesn't believe in it, and then she is constantly making him question if he's right. And but then throughout the article you're hearing different theories on it, and it explores this concept of why sociologists don't even really want to talk about the idea of luck, that it's like almost taboo.
Probably because it can be a little influenced by your mind.
Yeah. And is it like random, or is there psychology to it? And so it was such a fun read. It was very accessible. It wasn't like academic at all, but you learn so much. And well, I guess it just makes you think, because you really don't learn anything, because who's to say? There's really no way to quantify luck, because it depends. Right. What's luck?
Like the car thing, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Some people would say that was a very unlucky day.
Right. So there is that perspective part of it. So here are some of the things I took away from it that I thought you would find interesting. They talked about this one study that some guy did where he wanted to see, like, if he pulled Sarah and people like Sarah who perceive themselves to be lucky, and then he pulled a group of people who perceive themselves to be unlucky, if in fact he could test for it.
Yeah.
And he did this experiment where he asked people to page through a newspaper and report how many pictures it contained. But it was a trick. because on the second page, he'd written, "Stop counting. There are 43 photographs in this newspaper." Or on a different one, it said, like, "Stop counting. Tell the experimenter you've seen this and win $250. And the unlucky, quote unquote, among his volunteers were less likely to notice the messages.
Okay. That's kind of, you have to notice things. You have to pay attention and you have to categorize it as luck. Okay.
Yeah. And they were too anxious to see the opportunity and good fortune looking them right in the face.
Yes.
And that, but then throughout the article, it would counter these things. It would say other studies that were like, it really just depended. And like, it explored the ideas of sort of the balance between magic and logic and powerlessness and control, like how much control you feel like you have in your own life.
Right.
And then they were considering this like comparison.
So fascinating. It's like
it
all
really
of what
is.
Las Vegas is based on. That's what, in a way, we do think we have control over that.
Right.
Interesting.
And in a way we do. Like in that newspaper, like if you read carefully, you were in control, and then you saw the directive to stop counting. But there's other things that aren't like that. They were using this example. Like imagine there's two drunk drivers. Mm-hmm. The one, is weaving and there's a pedestrian and they strike the pedestrian and then they go to jail for manslaughter. Yeah. And the other one's weaving and totally wasted, but there's no pedestrian that night.
Right.
And they just go home and have a hangover the next day.
Right.
One is not worse than the other in terms of morality.
Right. Totally.
But whenever somebody hits a pedestrian because they're drunk, we see them as, despicable. But we don't ever know about like this guy who just got lucky.
Right.
In essence,
Yeah.
It depends on how much of the information
that's
you have.
Scary thing. That's scary to think about. That.
And so much of it is about storytelling. They were talking about how like a lot of it is about probabilities, and that's not very fun for humans. We like stories.
Right. Well, yeah, the probability of there being a Toyota dealership within a 7-mile radius is pretty high when I live in a major metropolitan area.
Right. But you felt like you got lucky.
I felt like I got lucky because, half a mile to the left, whatever,
Right.
But the probability of my car breaking down in any area in Denver would have landed me within a 7-mile range of that.
Probably.
There are probably more spots available if you were to like look at, you have a 75% chance or 80% chance or whatever.
Right. And so a lot of it has to do with storytelling. And so if you omit a piece of information or you add a piece of information, it changes the perception of the audience too. And so a lot of times we're hearing stories that favor luck or unluck. Mm-hmm. And this is a lot of times with sports. We hear these.
Yeah,
things.
Well, and now that you're saying that, I think people can make one or the other their identity. Like sports teams do that, where they'll like, another year we're losing, another year of, they kind of make it. So I wonder if there's some kind of like attention or positive feedback or something like that people have gotten from saying, "Oh my God, I'm so
the
always unlucky."
Of it.
Yes,
yeah.
And then they keep.
Well, and think about this too.
That.
How often have you heard somebody who's been in an accident but survived saying how if the bullet had been one fraction
this
of
was
a
when
millimeter.
when my mom fell off the building, and she said, had I fallen, like I should be paralyzed right now.
Right. But it was like 1 millimeter
Yeah.
away from whatever.
And her eyeball, like, cut the lid of her eyelid and
Right.
cut up all of her lip, but she didn't lose any teeth, and it didn't affect her
Lose her
eye at
eye.
all. That's
But
crazy. Like,
whenever people die, nobody's like, if it had only been 1 millimeter the other direction, they would still be alive.
oh,
We never do the reverse because it's too horrifying.
we don't want to do that. It's
We
horrifying.
want to think about it.
You're right.
We want to think that was inevitable,
Oh,
right? And so the way we
because then you think
about
there's
it,
something I could have done. Like maybe it could have been different. You can't
well,
go down
yeah,
that road.
I don't think people should. I'm just
Right.
saying that nobody does the reverse.
Right.
Because it's like it reveals the randomness of every like thing in our life.
Yeah.
Like you could have died, but you didn't, or you did die and you could have lived if you just did something different.
So often I'm like, man, humans are so resilient. When I see, like athletes or, all like the Red Bull athletes who do such insane things. And then I love the clips that shows the practices of how they got that, the guy who landed like, I don't know, whatever it was, like the 1700 or whatever, like did some like 6.5 rotations on a snowboard, which is crazy. It's like, looked like he was in a blender. And then you look at the clips of the training for that and how many times he fell. And you're just like,
Yeah.
how did a human survive that? How did you get up after hitting the ground that many times? And I think, God, humans are resilient. And then you hear about the person who like sneezed too hard and fucking dies of a stroke or something like that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I'll tell you what, you don't have to leave to chance, and that's your mental health. Thanks
Definitely
to
do
BetterHelp.
not.
And this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp.
And you know what? I would say that BetterHelp and a therapist can help you get your mind to a place where you can start to see the things that make you feel lucky and all the positives so that you can have that kind of outlook like I do, where
Yeah, you can
everything
get
works
that.
out. And you start to become like silence those anxious thoughts and notice those little things to be able to make your life what you want it to be.
Yeah, and a lot of it is about perspective, and that is sort of the gift that therapy can bring. Sarah always talks about zooming out.
Yes.
And so if you are stressed, if you are grieving, if you're in a difficult relationship, they have experts who can help you navigate all that from the comfort of your home or wherever you may be. And therapy is for everyone,
Yes.
period.
Period.
And that is something to remember. I always joke about how all the wrong people are in therapy.
Yeah.
But really what I mean is a lot of the people that need it most never take that step. So if you're like, I don't need that, I would encourage you to take that step.
If you think nobody could help me or nobody will understand this, they will. And it is, I have been there where I'm like, and sometimes you think I could just figure this out on my own. I always say you can't tickle yourself. It's like that. I'm a therapist. I know all of this. I know all the shit my therapist says to me. But
you
I
still
still
have a
go because it
therapist.
does something when I
Shout
hear
out to
it.
Sherry.
Yeah, exactly.
Your well-being is worth it. Visit BetterHelp.com/braincandy today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/braincandy. All right.
Man, if this show could just get a couple people to go to therapy, I feel like we're a job well done.
I think that we've done that, and we hopefully will continue to.
Yeah.
Okay, so just as an aside, in the midst of this article where they're talking about like randomness and like how sometimes it doesn't matter what you plan for or whatever, like life happens and you got struck by lightning, whatever. And just like in the article, it said like in parentheses, this reminds me of, the band ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. One of their members got killed by a runaway hay bale.
What?
Like this humongous hay bale fell off a truck or something and hit his car and he died.
That's so sad.
It's so sad, and exactly what they're trying to emphasize. Like, it's random. Didn't matter that he was rich and successful or whatever. That hay bale
that
was
definitely
coming.
pushes back on my theory of you're only famous for one thing. That is, I might have to toss that theory.
I mean, we are starting to poke holes in it.
We definitely are.
Remember Rick, the wrestler? What's his name?
Yeah, Ric Flair.
Rick Flair.
Freaking hit by lightning a whole bunch.
That guy's lucky to be alive.
Did you see that Elton John contracted an eye infection that's now left him like practically blind?
Right.
That's so sad.
It's so sad.
I don't either.
It's terrifying.
And macular degeneration runs in my family. My aunt's already getting shots into her eyeball to slow down the process. So,
well, you should get those.
I think it's a little early. But I did recently hear that this shingles vaccine is showing to be, this is not eyeball related, but showing to be preventative against Alzheimer's. Did you read this?
When can we start getting it?
I don't know. I think in like 40s.
Okay. I'm going to put this in my freaking phone because I want all that.
Oh, I'll send it to you.
They should put the shingles vaccine in my eyeball. I don't even care if that's where it goes. Oh my God.
But yeah, I just read that this morning.
Thank you for the tip.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's put it in her phone.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Okay, moving on. I'll move on.
That's interesting, though. I'm going to read that. I think that's a fascinating subject. Luck. It's interesting that nobody studies it. It feels like in that same category as like dreams and like ESP or that kind of like communicating
like
with twins.
Serious.
And like nobody wants to study it, but we all know there's something to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and then that book came out in, I think, like 2018. I think it was called Hot Hand, about when athletes in particular go on a roll.
Oh, yeah.
Or like in Vegas, there's like a hot table, like your mom says.
Like a streak, yeah.
And is this real? And the book basically said it is.
Oh, that's so wild. Why?
Well,
Why?
that has to do with psychology and about like energy and people starting to get confident and feeling like, yeah, baby,
but
I'm on a streak.
That wouldn't change the actual luck of the table, but it does.
Oh, of a table. Yeah. But like they always use the Larry Bird for the Celtics because he had like this run.
Yeah.
That was like outside of statistical norms. And the statisticians for years were like, no, that's normal. It's normal. And then they found out that they were miscalculating. And that he actually did have a streak and a run.
Oh.
And that it really was, it wasn't norm. It wasn't like statistically normal what happened to him.
Yeah.
Because they always say it regresses to the mean. That's what they always say.
Right.
Like when you flip a coin.
Yes,
even if
like
you have
it might
50
go up,
heads,
but then if you flip it enough times, it'll always regress.
It will always regress to the mean. And sometimes it's not true, but it's because you have the insertion of like belief.
Yes, that's fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. That we don't know at all.
Like confidence affects performance.
Oh, it's fascinating.
Yeah, it is fascinating. It's fun. And I'll have Delia put that article in the newsletter because you got to read it. Just briefly, I wanted to say that there's like in the Atlantic, like an advice column. And usually it annoys me, but this time it was about this woman whose husband wouldn't quit whistling.
Oh, you hate that. You hate a whistler.
I was like, I am going to be so pissed if this guy who answers the advice is like, just enjoy it. He's joyful. I was going to be like, I will kill you. But thank God he took my side.
What did he say?
Okay. So this lady, her husband won't quit whistling. They've had conversations about it. She shared how like she does not like it. It makes her like want to pull her hair out. And he says, fuck you.
Oh, hate this.
I'm going to keep doing it. And the person that writes the advice is like, listen, like let's say your postman whistles.
Yeah.
Or whoever, your delivery guy.
Yeah.
They keep walking.
Right. That's the part that's fine.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if you're just out and someone's doing it, but you're only around them for like 3 seconds.
Right. Totally okay.
In the house, is it different? Ball game.
Absolutely. I would agree.
Yeah. And
absolutely. My whole family makes weird noises, and we all drive each other. It's like, stop doing that.
Yeah. Stop doing that. It's rude. It's the same as farting.
It feels like you're invading somebody's space.
You are violating my airspace, not with odor, but with sound.
Yeah.
And it was saying how it was actually saying it's different than singing too, because it was saying whistling is a particular type of sound that implies mindlessness. It's almost like an intentional avoidance of thinking. Where
interesting. It totally is.
I know it is. And
and it means that like nothing's going on in your brain if you're whistling, which is kind of nice sometimes.
Well, we can tell.
But
because this person expressed it as like a vehemence of mental vacancy and like a sense of like intentional avoidance.
Yeah.
And impersonality. So like I'm far off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I refuse to think, and a militant mindlessness that can make other people cuckoo crazy.
If it were right, that would drive me crazy too.
Like looking into the fridge, whistling.
Right. When you have so many thoughts in your head and you're trying to get things done or think about.
Yeah, want to hear what people that are thinking? We can tell you.
Well, my mom does that. She talks out loud to herself all the time.
Well, I'm saying these guys that are whistling should say, hey, Suze, what are you thinking about? And I would be happy to tell them.
Right.
Like, if they need something, because clearly they don't have thoughts.
Right. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, I'm glad that he answered that way, or that the person who responded was in agreement, and that makes sense. If it's your mailman, if you're just somebody who's walking by, but
when you're trapped in a space,
you
have to be respectful.
What about if you were like going to the farmer's market and the grocer, the produce person was whistling as they were setting up their produce booth?
I mean, I would be annoyed, but I would get it.
Yeah, I would get it too.
It's the being trapped thing.
Yeah, that's it. Because like I'm trying to think of the situation. Yeah, that would be fine.
Like
it's the being at home.
Always like, okay.
Oh my God! Imagine if somebody started whistling on an airplane. Murder.
My God, I'm surprised that hasn't happened.
I am too.
That would be like a murder-suicide if I were on that plane. Okay. Next up, let's talk about porn addiction.
Okay.
I love this topic so much because
I can't tell you how long it's been since I've looked at porn.
Oh, how long has it been?
Years.
Years?
Yeah.
How many years?
I mean, over 2, maybe.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And
but okay, go ahead.
Was this like you quit like sobriety?
There was a movie that came out that Rashida Jones, a documentary that Rashida Jones produced.
Oh, yes.
That was called like...
Something about women, like
something like that. That was about women in the porn industry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like knowing how the hot dogs are made.
Right.
Can't do it. Can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Nope.
I agree with you. I'm not a viewer myself.
Yeah. I mean, I don't judge people who do, but
no, I don't give a shit.
Not at all. I'm like, you do you, and I think it's great. But it just changed for me.
Yeah, I don't think it would change for any guy that saw that documentary.
All right. Then I gave him all backstories, and I was just like, oh
no,
God.
I don't have a backstory.
Right, that's what it was like. Seeing that, I just like, then I know too much.
Back then, what was your go-to, like your search?
Well, I don't want to share.
Oh, really? It's private.
It's private.
Not even a genre. I'm a voyeur kind of gal.
I'm a voyeur kind of gal as well.
Well, that's what I mean, though.
I'm like,
were your voyeur ones still actors?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not into that. I don't want to.
Oh, you want like real stuff? Real like,
amateur.
like that?
Oh,
like,
yeah, amateur voyeur.
Yeah. Oh, no. See, I didn't like the amateurs. I like wanted them to be professionals. And yeah. And then it looked too fake because like the women, I just like to watch the women.
Hate them.
And it looked fake. Yeah. But the amateur ones, it feels like I'm doing something wrong.
Well, yeah, like if you think they don't know it's there. Or something.
Yeah, I'm like,
right. That's why we can't ever watch any of it.
Right.
That's why Sarah Silverman had to like end up with her search. She talked about
absolutely did. Yeah, like I've absolutely done that. I'll just like the audio or the sound of somebody like.
Right. You had to go to Dipsy Stories. That was your
100%.
Like,
no, you know what I do is I don't listen to porn or watch porn. I read erotic fiction.
Yeah, and I think that's a better way to do it.
Because then I use my imagination, and that paints way better pictures.
Yes, and more ethical ones.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you what else is ethical, and that is Daily Look. clothing subscription.
Well, I will say it's not disposable clothing.
Well, that's for sure.
I ordered a Daily Look box, and you know how important like material is to me,
right.
like the what things are made of. And I will not put something on my body that feels like itchy.
It's going to disintegrate or something.
Yeah, or like has itchy, just is made cheap. Mm-hmm. These are good clothes. And I'll tell you, so for people who don't know, Daily Look is a box where you can have somebody style a look for you. And if you're somebody who gets overwhelmed with shopping, which is me, and you're somebody who like can't see how something goes together like on yourself, I thought when my box came, I thought, I don't know, I don't know if I really like this. And they say on the instructions, like, try everything on. Mm-hmm. I tried it on, and I was like, oh my God, I love this dress. I did not. I had it in my pile of, no, I'll probably send this back. No, keeping it.
Wow, they knew you better than you knew yourself.
They absolutely did. And it's great. I love the quiz you could take. You can get really specific. You can customize your box. It's a real person who does it for you. Shout out to Esperanza.
Stop.
Oh, that's the girl who styled it.
Yeah. You take the quiz, you include what your sort of price points are and your lifestyle and like your style.
Yeah.
And then they send you stuff. Free shipping both ways. It's so easy, and they are really, really high quality products. It's time to get your own personal stylist with Daily Look. Head to dailylook.com, take your style quiz, and use code BRAINCANDY for 50% off your first order. Once again, that's dailylook.com for 50% off. Make sure you use our promo code BRAINCANDY so they know we sent you. One last time, dailylook.com and promo code BRAINCANDY. Definitely try it at least for that first box to see what we're saying.
Yeah. You know what I think it would be great for? There are a lot of people whose jobs are making them go back to the office.
Yeah.
And that's, I feel like after living for like 5 years in sweats.
Right. A lot of people are not accustomed to.
I don't have clothes that are appropriate anymore to go into an office.
Right.
You know?
Right. I feel you.
So.
Yeah. So this is great for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, back to porn.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this study that was done, and this was sort of an amalgamation of several studies. I think there were 7,000 people that were in the study, so it's huge. And it is so interesting. The conclusion is there's no such thing as porn addiction. That's the end of the study. And their findings were that what predicts someone thinking they're a porn addict isn't actually consumption of porn.
Oh, it's judgment from people around them or their own.
Yeah, it's religiosity.
Yes, I was going to guess that. Oh, right. Yes, totally.
Right. So this is sort of moral shame.
Oh, my gosh.
And consternation and guilt.
Yeah, that's because there's nothing wrong if you wanted to like jerk off every day, masturbate every day. Go ahead. And if you needed porn to get there, go ahead, watch that. But if somebody is like, you watch porn every day, all of a sudden okay, chill the fuck out.
If you believe
Right.
what you're doing is either sinful or unethical or immoral, that is who says that they have some sort of a problem.
Okay, this kind of fits the addiction is the only disease that you have to self-diagnose thing.
Except, I was thinking about that, but the difference with porn versus, say, alcohol is that alcohol has physical consequences.
Right. Maybe you'll get a little chafed in that.
You will die from drinking too much.
Yes.
At a certain point.
Right.
Whereas you won't.
Yeah.
And
there are no withdrawals from watching porn.
Physical or otherwise.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So here are some of the bullet points that I thought were interesting. So these guys that were doing the analysis are highly respected scholars that I love, and I've loved for a really long time, Perry and Whitehead. They do a lot of religious work and cultural stuff, and they are great. And they were coming into this absolutely, if you had to choose, they were considered neutral, but if anything, they believed that there was such a thing as porn addiction.
Yeah, I would have believed it too.
As they were gathering information about this like hypersexual disorder for the DSM-5, the meta-analysis of research on pornography concluded that porn use does not predict problems with porn, but that religiosity does.
Wow.
And pornography problems due to moral incongruence, PPMI, appear to be the driving force in many of the people who reported dysregulated, uncontrollable, or problematic pornography use. So in 2004, it was found the variables of like accessibility, affordability, and anonymity, sort of the things that we imagine make people consume more porn.
Yeah.
Had no connection to sexual behaviors or changes in sexuality or even the use of internet porn. What the internet did was to put porn in the hands of people woefully unprepared to manage it and their sexual desires. And that religiosity was associated with a bunch of sexual difficulties.
Yes.
And now porn can be added to that list. And
wow.
They
This makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense, and they sort of bolstered it by saying if pornography addiction were true, if it were a real thing, then porn-related problems would go up regardless of morality as porn use went up.
Absolutely.
But, like, all it means is that people who report great anguish over controlling their porn use aren't actually using more porn. They just feel worse about it.
Right.
Like, a lot of times these guys that think they're addicts are like just maybe once a day.
Right.
But they just feel so awful because they can't stop.
Yeah, or they've been told that what they're doing is sinful or they're not allowed and they're feeling shame. Like, I can see the wives, like, I'm like, go ahead. Watch all the porn you want. Jerk off. Like, okay.
But if you are in the church or grew up in the church, it is seen as sick.
Yeah.
That would be the word that they would use the most.
That's crazy.
Perverse, sick, like sort of like get a hold of yourself.
When you and I had such different upbringings.
Right.
Mine was like, you might want to get to know your body a little bit better. Here's some ways people do that.
For boys too?
I don't know. I don't think for boys.
They didn't need to be told.
No.
Right. Right.
It's okay. It was just normalized. It was like nobody was shaming anybody about that. It was like, yeah, that's going to happen. Yeah, you're fine. People do that. Because
sometimes people in their study that really didn't even use porn that much. Mm-hmm. It was just maybe casual or occasional.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
felt they had some sort of, and so they were able to find these correlations between like what is making these people think they have a problem.
Right.
It isn't porn use.
Right. Because you would see, right, exactly.
I'm sure there are people who aren't religious who have some sort of fucked up relationship with sex or porn or whatever. But that's not what this study is finding. What it's finding is that what determines your quote unquote porn addiction is just whether you are mainly a Christian.
Right.
And have been told it's disgusting.
Oh my God, I hate that. I hate that, but also it's hopeful maybe that.
And it said if you are a clinician who is still saying that there is even such a thing as porn addiction, you should get your credentials revoked.
Yeah, it's not a problem over here. Yeah.
This was in Psychology Today, if you were wondering and want to look it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Because it's the same, it's a judgment. That's like kink shaming in a way. Mm-hmm. And there's no way you could do whatever you want. Like, you like that? Okay.
Although
you want to marry the Eiffel Tower? Go ahead. You want to? Okay.
You know how I get mad about super kinky behavior sometimes?
Yeah.
So many stories you read are about sick people, men in particular, who leverage that, the kink community and sort of that thing to then do terrible stuff.
Right.
And so, while there may be nothing wrong with having, a wild, kinky situation, and that being your proclivity, that you are in a higher risk situation.
Yeah.
Because some people will exploit it.
Right. And that's why it's like anything, education is so important. And if somebody wants to explore, it's like anything like that. If you get a book on, kink, anything in the kink world, it's so much of it is going to be about those rules of consent. And, any spaces that I've been to that have been kink positive spaces, sex positive spaces, have spent so much time enforcing that and talking about that to, I think, help make sure those things don't happen. But if you go in without any education or without any information, I mean, sex in general, it can be dangerous and if you're going in without any information.
If you're a woman, it's already a morbidity. But you know how you say though, when we talk about those guys that dress up in diapers and get in a crib and whatever, and you'll be very careful to not shame them, but you'll also say this could be a job for a therapist. Yeah, maybe you got to work some shit out.
Yeah,
I feel that way also about the BDSM shit. I know it's less unusual and more mainstream and whatever, but I also think it's not dissimilar.
Yeah, and it could be, I would say, in your Venn diagram of people who are in the kink community and have experienced trauma, you'd have much more overlap than maybe people in that community who have not.
Percentages. Probably pretty high.
Probably pretty high. It's the same thing as people who are therapists.
It totally is.
It's you're a therapist? What did you experience? Yeah, what did you go through?
Okay, last thing.
And then on the weekend, we're all tying each other up.
Fucking freaks.
Yeah.
Okay, this has been in my phone forever, and I've forgotten to do it a gazillion times. To the brainiac who sent it to me, thank you. I don't even know who it is at this point. It's been in my phone for so long. It's this really fun, it must be on Reddit, but I'm not sure, thread of people who have had experiences with blind people or deaf people or whatever. where they learn like these crazy things that they never knew and that I never knew. And so I thought we would enjoy them. Okay, the first
I like
one.
this.
You will. Okay, the first one is, I had a blind professor last semester and I swung through his office to make up an exam. It was a while before I knew he was in there because he was sitting with the lights off. I finally went in, apologized, and took the exam by the light of a nearby window, which was fine. 45 minutes into dead silence, he panicked and yelled in this booming voice, "Wait, you can see!" before diving across the desk to turn on the lights. I'm sure he was embarrassed, but I thought it was endearing and it highlighted a large aspect of disabled life that I hadn't previously considered. Oh. So this was like her just saying, well, there are so many things that like we just sort of take for granted, that you like turn lights on or whatever, and that this professor didn't remember. And it sort of invited other people to then be like saying similar stuff. Yeah. So this person then said, relatedly, I once had a professor who was deaf, but she had learned to read lips and speak so she could communicate easily with hearing people who didn't know sign language. One day she had gotten off topic and was talking a little about her personal life, so that one of the students said, "Oh, I know, I grew up in Brooklyn too." And she said, "Oh," and she stared at him for a long time and then said, "How do you know I'm from Brooklyn?" And he said, "You have a Brooklyn accent." And she said,
"That's crazy."
"I do." And the whole class nodded, and then she burst out laughing and said, "I had no idea. The school where I learned to speak was in Brooklyn. I learned by moving my mouth and tongue the way the teachers did." So I guess
crazy.
It makes sense that I have their accent. I just never thought about it. And then, how great is that?
That's interesting.
Right.
That it's like the way you move your mouth
creates a sound, but like, makes sense.
And you never think it totally makes sense.
And then somebody said, my mom's a sign language interpreter and she signed with people from all over the U.S. According to her, when she signs with people from the South, they sign with a drawl. They have slower hand movements and exaggerate certain parts of the sign. People from the Midwest sign very fast and people from the South sign very slow. So we were at a restaurant once and my mom started interpreting for someone who was trying to order, and she was like, "Oh, you're from the South." And they were like, "How did you know that?" And she said, "You sign with a drawl." And they were really surprised that it came through that much. It's interesting that even when not speaking verbally, accents and heritage come through.
That is super cool.
Isn't that great?
That's fascinating. We don't think about that stuff.
No, we don't. And it's just like, of course, but not. Right? It's like it makes sense, but it doesn't.
I like that. And it's like learning about other brains that are working in a different way help us know about our own. It kind of reminds me of when you shared the audio hallucination.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Right.
I love that kind of stuff.
And how our brains are so weird.
They sure are.
And like are so magnificent, but often like what makes them so efficient there are obviously, what's the word? Like malfunctions as a result.
Yeah. Well, I have that thing where if I'm hanging out with somebody who has an accent, I will start to talk like that. Mm-hmm. And now it's making me think that in a way I'm just mirroring them, which is what I do with, which is what I do anyway, like what we do with behavior anyway. And it might even be that we're mirroring mouth movements. And
right.
That's how
physical
like physical stuff. Because you see this this happens all the time when people are with each other. I noticed the other day that I don't know if my girlfriend's laughing like me or I'm laughing like her, but we both do the same noise at the end. There's like a like that at the end of the laugh thing. Mm-hmm. And it's I mean, to me it's adorable. But I'm like, oh my gosh, we sound exactly alike.
Yeah. Right. And like even when that thing that I was describing, that article about luck, mm-hmm. one of the takeaways was supposed to be about how understanding the randomness of life can really give you empathy. And I was thinking about, because it always comes back to the Gene Hackman murder mystery.
Yeah.
Because I said at the time, like, he's this rich, famous guy, but like his wife got fucking rat virus,
Right.
hantavirus or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, shit happens.
Right.
And that some people have bad luck or good luck or whatever. And that it can, the takeaway was supposed to be about empathy and how, like, we can all have this stuff happen to us, bad or good or whatever.
Yep.
And we're all in the same boat, even though it doesn't feel like we all are.
Right.
But
That in a way, we're more blessed than Elton John now.
For real. That his money and fame
Doesn't
didn't
matter.
insulate him from a virus.
Right.
Yeah. It's weird, though, because when they announced that he had that, it was like, you know, the recovery will be long, but like now it seems like they're talking about it like it's...
It seems permanent.
Yeah. But I don't know why.
I don't know either. I just saw a little clip.
I know I don't want it.
Yeah. Oof, it scares
scary.
me. I know. It made
feels
me
like
think.
I'm going down that road. Every day I see less.
Oh, gosh.
I'm not kidding.
I know.
Sarah, I am 8 years ahead of you. I am the ghost of Christmas
I always say
future.
it's 6. 8 years.
What the hell are you?
I'm 39.
Well, I'm going to be this year 46. So what is that? 7?
6.
Wait, no, you're 39.
Yeah, it's 6.5.
That's 7. Okay, 6.5.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm 6.5 years ahead of you. I am still the ghost of Christmas future. And I'm here to say...
Well, looks good to me. Looks so good.
Marry me. I'm here to say, well, thanks. I should say thanks because you actually can still see.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I did that thing, you know, like held it back and did that thing with my neck the other day, you know, like to see something close, something small. I had to like move it away and do that thing.
Have we talked about how mine are trifocals?
Oh! There goes Susie, always one-upping everyone.
Like, what is it when you one down people?
I see your bifocals and I raise you trifocals.
Because it's distance, computer, and then reading.
Wow.
I'm a lucky lady.
Sure are.
All right, friends. Thanks for hanging in there with us while
That's funny.
Went down a road of pain and suffering. Thank you for always using our codes.
But everything works out.
This is what my dad says.
Everything will work out for us.
He always said, it all works out.
It all works out.
Is what he believed.
And I'm lucky.
And she's lucky. Go to thebraincandypodcast.com to check out all of our codes so you can use them so we don't die homeless. And go to patreon.com/braincandy for all of our challenge reality TV content. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Find yourself looking for a new job or change in career? Monster.com is here to help. We are not only here to bring you job postings, but also AI interview prep and salary tools, expert career advice, and top-notch resume services. We've got everything you need to land your perfect job fit. Discover the magic of finding the ideal job with Monster.com. Your future starts now. Visit Monster.com today. Your next job opportunity is just a click away.